All right, everybody, welcome back to an episode of Beers by the Ivy. Appreciate you being here. I just watched the Knicks beat the Celtics game 2. Man, I'm a Pacers fan, but I love Jalen Brunson. I love his intensity. I love his alphaness. I mean, that is like Jordan-esque in terms of, hey, I'm going to take the last 3 possessions. I'm taking the shot because it's my team, and I earn that honor. I'm not passing the ball, and I can get my own shot whenever I want. I love that, man. I love Jalen Brunson. I love him. Heart, effort, toughness. That's what I like about any type of athlete, and that's what he has. But yeah, my Pacers winning. I'm going to talk a lot of Pacers today. Then we're going to jump into just, Cubs and other sports. I'm going to once again predict NBA playoffs. My predictions from last episode have actually gone pretty solid, so I really have not missed, which is hopefully a theme of this show. It's because my opinion is usually right, and if the opinion goes wrong, this show's probably going nowhere. But yeah, year 2 of Beers by the Ivy. I'm doing a little Beers by the Ivy intro, then we'll jump into the Pacers a little bit here. But yeah, year 2 Beers by the Ivy. This year, my goal is to really just kind of get this thing really going. I hit 1,000 subscribers last year, mainly in college football, because my analysis in college football, film breakdowns of key games, just kind of went off, which was great, especially during the playoffs. This year, building more of the Cubs community, and then also hopefully, kicking butt again in college football, because college football is the bread and butter sport that I know left, right, and sideways in terms of schematics and schemes and predictions. Baseball is more about connecting with other people and enjoying Wrigleyville. Beers by the Ivy, drinking beers in Wrigleyville. That's the main theme here. Giant announcement. We picked up our first sponsor, and it's a sponsor. I don't think I'll ever be more proud of a sponsor, quite frankly. There's a store directly across the street from Wrigley, the main entrance, called Sports World Chicago. It's where I bought my Cub merch forever. But yeah, I picked them up as a sponsor, which is unbelievable. My hats, Beers by the Ivy hats, I often wear. You can check them out on my website, but they'll also be on the Sports World Chicago website here soon. So that is an unbelievable, kind of breathtaking situation for me, full circle. So yeah, being my first sponsor. But yeah, Beers by the Ivy, promo code 10% off. Go get you something cool for the Cubs. I just got myself the light blue jersey. Because why not? It's really grown on me. I actually love it. The Cubs light blue jersey, the new 3rd jersey. So yeah, unbelievable. But yeah, I made a short earlier today about the Knicks versus the Pacers and how I want that series to become a thing. That would be amazing. If the Pacers beat the Cavs, finish them off, up 2 games, going back home for the next 2. And the Knicks, same thing, up 2 games, going back home for the next 2. That would be an epically great series. But at the end of the day, what wins in NBA playoff basketball? Bully ball. Bully ball wins in playoff basketball. It's the tougher team wins. Who's going to go to the rim more? Who's going to hit contested shots? Who's going to play tough defense? That's what wins, and you're seeing that across the league right now. You're seeing that with the Knicks beating the Celtics. And I like the Celtics, don't get me wrong. I think they're kind of boring. I like the Knicks more because the Knicks are like a little bit more of an underdog story. Right, they got a little bit of Jalen Brunson's not a big guy. He's thought after being a top 15 player in the league, where you have like guys on the Celtics who are, they have 2 of probably the top 10, right? So they're a little underdog, but they're fighting. Pacers, same thing. Tyler's Halliburton, not respected really at all, comes in and makes the biggest plays the last 2 games down the stretch. I mean, that shot yesterday where he misses the free throw on purpose, grabs his own rebound, scoots back, and then takes a 3 for the win. I mean, that's big ballin' stuff. That's big ballin' stuff. All right? And I know we don't have a lot of Pacer fans that listen, so I kind of feel bad actually talking about the Pacers, but just bear with me and I'll literally switch topics. Oh yeah, one thing I got to say too is I got the Nuggets beating Thunder. And why do I have that? Is because the Nuggets have been there before, and they had the best player in the world on their team. And shout out Russell Westbrook. I said that in the last episode. I mean, this guy, I'm rooting for them, specifically almost because of him. I want him to win. I think that'd be a great story arc. I mean, you look at the pass over to Aaron Gordon for the game winner. How about that? Old Russell Westbrook would have just ran it right into the backboard, missed the layup, and the team would have lost. But no, he's playing solid, winning basketball, full court, all hustle. Russell Westbrook, you got to respect it. You absolutely got to respect it. All right? I'm going to give a brief little 2-minute speech on why the Pacers are elite. Okay, and it has to do with their lineup and their coaching and just their overall ability as a team. I don't think we should sleep on them. Do I think the Cavs can come back and win? I would not be surprised if they came back and win because I still feel like they have the best player. All right. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is an absolute stud. Talk about a balanced basketball player. Donovan Mitchell can do it all. Great dribbler, great passer, great shooter, great at the rim, can dunk, good defender. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is the real deal in terms of superstar in the NBA. He's just a quiet superstar. He's not a flashy superstar, but he's fundamentally so sound. I really enjoy watching him play. All right, so if you're a Cavs fan, keep your head up because I still think this can be a series. But as Pacer fans, let's just talk about it. We have a special team, and no one wants to admit it because we're boring and we're in Indianapolis. All right, but talk about our coach. We have Rick Carlisle. Last time I checked, he was playing with Bird. He's had a great pro career himself. Then he goes over. He's a Mavericks coach. Who did he coach? Dirk Nowitzki. What did they do? I don't know. I'm joking. I obviously know. They beat the hardest run of any final series in the history of the NBA. They beat the Portland Trail Blazers, I believe with Brandon Roy, if I remember correctly. Then they beat the Lakers, right? Then they beat OKC, the Lakers. That's OKC with like all the Hall of Famers. Harden, Westbrook, Durant. Then they beat the Lakers. Kobe, Powell, Gasol. Boom. And then they go out and they beat the Beatles, or the Heatles, whatever they're called. LeBron, D. Wade, Bosh. With one All-Star, one Hall of Famer. If you don't count Jason Kidd, because he was in his older years. Dirk Nowitzki. That's who's coaching the Pacers right now. That's who's coaching the Pacers. And they have a system that is beautiful. Nobody moves the ball like the Pacers do. All right? The Warriors came in and they shot the ball differently. The Pacers are passing the ball differently than any other team. The Cavs look like a normal basketball team, and they look really good off the bus. There's a power forward, and they got the center, and then Mitchell's shooting guard. They look good. Okay. And the Pacers just look different. They have so much length, so much speed, and so much skill in the ability to shoot the ball that makes them it's poetry in motion out there. All right, and I'm just going to run through these guys, then I'm going to shut up and move topics. But here we go. Tyrese Halliburton, let's talk about him. This guy's stepping into his own. This guy's got his butt kicked the last couple years, which is important. We talk story arcs on this podcast. He's got his butt kicked these last couple years. Missing shots, not showing up in big games, back problems out of nowhere, playing a little soft at times. This guy is making the plays when it matters. He's a great leader on the floor. He spreads the wealth at non-key moments of the game. In the key moments of the game, he takes the ball in his own hands, and he's hitting the shots. It could be at the end of the game. It could be that the Cavs are on a run. He does a pull-up jumper, gets a quick two, makes a drive, does a right hook over someone, ball goes in, boom. Tyrese Halliburton, I'm putting him as an A-level guy, a guy who can lead a team to a championship. We just saw it. You can't even push back against it. 2 games in a row, games they're not even supposed to win. 7 for 11, 2 for 2 from 3, 3 from 5 from the field goal. They're from the free throw, 19 points. All right, let's talk about the next guy, Miles Turner. Miles Turner used to be soft. Miles Turner is not soft. Miles Turner has a dynamic game. You could make an argument that Miles Turner is the reason why the Pacers can be so spread out. His ability to shoot the three, his ability to finish around the rim, his ability to hit a mid-range jumper. Honestly, not a bad dribbler. Does it kind of freak me out when he's dribbling the ball? Absolutely. But not bad handles for a guy that size. All right? And also a good defender. Not a great defender, but a good rim protector defender. Miles Turner. Love it. Okay? Let's move into Pascal Siakam. He's such an important guy. He's such an important guy because he's a get-a-bucket guy at any moment in the game. Solid defender, but a get-a-bucket guy is what you need in the playoffs because buckets and points are so hard to come by. And if you have a guy that's not your key leader, but is just a get-a-bucket guy, it's an interesting dynamic for a team. And I love him. He's got such good step back jumper, like Carmelo Anthony, a little bit esque, like style to his game, and his length around the rim and his ability to finish around the rim, spectacular. All right, and then we get into Andrew Nembhard. Andrew Nembhard, shooting guard. People don't even know who he is. You know what I mean? He had that giant shot against the Knicks last year. People don't even know who he is. This kid is a baller. This kid is lethal. I don't even know if he talks. I've never heard him talk. Never heard him talk. But this guy is lethal. He shoots with intensity. Like, he shoots with authority. He hunts with the basketball going in the rim. And I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. When I first saw him, I was like, this guy, like, does he have the ability to is he going to shrink? Like, does he, like, compete? Oh, yeah, he competes. Yeah, and he's had a couple of big games. Not necessarily the last game, 13 points, but the game before that, he was definitely bigger. All right, and then we get into the kind of like athletic small forwards, right? We got Aaron Naismith, freak of nature athleticism. Okay, and then we got Benedict Mathurin, who was hurt last year, so he missed the playoffs last year. These two guys are just difference makers. You know, they're just like the Davis boys back when the Pacers like had Reggie in like the 90s, the 98 team. They just do the little things on the court, and sometimes it's blocking shots. Sometimes it's just playing tough D on the hardest or on the best offensive player on the opposite team. But they also hit big threes. Both these guys are hitting threes at certain moments in the game. I'm like, golly, the intensity and athleticism. What about a football player in both these guys too? All right, and then we move into the bench. Obi Toppin, a great guy, just stretched the floor. High flyer dunker, solid defender, not scared to ever shoot the ball. And then lastly, T.J. McConnell. I still think one of the best role players in the NBA. I actually like when him and Halliburton are both on the floor, but I think he's an absolute difference maker. And intensity, toughness, nitty gritty, fight. Pulls up, makes those quick, like kind of Chris Paul like range jumpers. Hits big threes when you need it. Just an ultimate champion, an ultimate warrior. All right, so Cavs got to get healthy for sure. We'll see who actually is on the floor for them, but it doesn't seem like if they just have Donovan Mitchell, they're going to be able to beat the Pacers. So, all right, let's just talk about around the NBA a little bit more here. Thunder Nuggets, I like the Nuggets to win. I think experience. I also think having the best player in the world. I also think age brings weight to the human body, and just being older, stronger, and tougher wins in the NBA playoffs. All right, Timberwolves versus Warriors. That's a really interesting series. I don't have any update if Steph's okay or not. I didn't look, but nonetheless, I think if they don't have him, I think the Wolves are going to win. But that being said, you can never count out the Warriors. I think we've seen that. I'm taking the Pacers and the Knicks going up 2 games. Wow, it's hard not to pick the Knicks. I mean, I like the intensity. Jumping over to NHL playoffs. NHL hockey is incredible. As we know, I still think, like I said this in the last podcast, I think if you're a fan of a team, then like the NHL is better. But if you're not, like NHL playoffs, but if you're not a fan of an NHL team or your team's like not in the playoffs, I think basketball is a more enjoyable watch. But there's nothing beats the intensity of hockey and the unknown of hockey. There's certain moments in hockey where, puck can go in off a shin pad or something absolutely nuts, and then you have time to like enjoy the celebration of them scoring. I mean, it's just so much unknown, so much you can't really even anticipate it. It just hits you as a rush, and that's what makes hockey so special. Also the physicality. All right, so we got Toronto with a big win over Florida. I'm not a big Toronto guy. I feel like their leadership is soft, but nonetheless. Carolina, big win over Washington. Vegas loses to Edmonton, which I think the Oilers will win that series. I think Connor McDavid's ready to go to the Cup again, and this might be his year to actually win the Cup. I would not be surprised. And we got Dallas versus Winnipeg. As I already said, I cannot root for Dallas because I don't like their jerseys. You can't have those jerseys. Those jerseys are absolutely brutal. I just hate them. But here's the problem. It's their jerseys when I was a kid were unbelievable. The Mike Modano Stars. Are you kidding me? Ed Belfour out there. Darian Hatcher. I mean, those jerseys with the big star emblem, absolutely sick. Some of the best jerseys ever worn in the sport of hockey. And then you got these new ones that are just like, ugh, I cannot root for that. So I will be rooting for Winnipeg And I think that's great for Winnipeg if they can win. Their fans were going absolutely nuts. Huge thing for that city. You got to root for them. All right, let's jump into some Cubs. Chicago Cubs. Where are we at? Well, we had the worst and toughest April of any team, I believe, all year. And now we allegedly have the easiest May of any team this year. So I was at the game yesterday. We came back, tied the Giants, and then we lost in the 10th inning by giving up 5 runs. This team, though, is a different team. I've been saying that. This team, I don't know what it's about. I don't know why. But this Cubs team is a different... All right, and lastly, as we always do, we'll talk about Cubs baseball. So I went to the game yesterday. We lost to the Giants. We lost to the Giants today. We just had one of the best stretches in terms of that April stretch. I mean, having that tough schedule. I mean, you're playing a lot of playoff teams back to back to back. You got the Dodgers. You got the Phillies. You got, the Brewers. You got the... And as we always do, I'm going to end on the Cubs here. All right, so as we always do, I'm going to end on the Cubs here. Wow, we just went through one of the hardest stretches of any April of any team this year. I think it was the hardest month in terms of calendar strength of schedule than any team is going to face this entire baseball season. And we did really well. I mean, the Cubs straight up, they had an intensity, and they do have an intensity this year that's just different. They're hunting back wins. They're hunting at the plate, as I keep saying. They're competing every single night. Do they have relief pitching? Absolutely not. Did we know that they weren't going to have relief pitching? Yeah, we knew that. I mean, not a shocker and not surprise. I saw Cubs baseball channel, friends of the channel. I still think the best Cubs channel on YouTube is Cubs baseball channel. He was saying Cade Horton, a guy that's currently in AAA, may come up. He likes his stuff. We'll see what happens. Why not? I mean, give him a chance in the bigs. Why not? Early in the season, right? But yeah, I see us trying to make a move at the deadline because this team has an intensity this year where we're hunting at the plate. I keep saying that, but we have an intensity at the plate. I mean, people even I've been kind of hard on Dansby Swanson the last couple games. He's making some big ass hits. Kyle Tucker's at the plate. How many times are you thinking we're gonna get a hit or a home run here with Kyle Tucker at the plate? PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, number 4 center fielder. He's unbelievable. He's my favorite player. He's the only reason I went to games last year. That team was so pathetic last year. Bunch of lazy ass millionaires playing baseball in Wrigley Field with no intensity. Get off the freaking field. Take off your jersey and get out of Wrigley. But this year, we got a lot of the same guys. But this year, it's a different intensity. But Pete Armstrong, he's left, right, and sideways, man. That guy's everywhere. I mean, that guy's absolutely everywhere. Stealing bases, making hits. Didn't he tie something since the 1970s in the Cubs uniforms? Certain amount of hits, certain amount of home runs, in a certain game stretch with also steals in there. He's Gordie Howe hat trick. You know what the Gordie Howe hat trick is? It's in hockey when you have a goal, assist, and you win a fight. That's a Gordie Howe hat trick. That's PCA. He's got a diving catch, a steal, a home run, a hit when it matters. I love PCA's game. His intensity every single day, playing like that. I mean, that's a Cubby through and through. We need to sign him. I know his contract's not up. We just need to sign him long term. Try to get a deal. Give him some money. Go ahead and sign him. And you got to sign Kyle Tucker too. All right, but I'm going to get back to focusing on this year. This year, this team can be damn special. This team is fun to root for. But here's the thing that I'm a little bit noticing. We play really good against good teams. We're not playing always great against the bad teams. We've won some blowouts. We kicked the Pirates' ass. I got that, guys. But losing to the Giants at home. I'm not. We got to be a little bit wary of this. We cannot be playing down competition. You can't lose games. That's the hardest thing about baseball. You want to beat the great teams because you want to know that you beat the great teams. When you play the Dodgers in the playoffs, you want to know that like you beat the Dodgers in the regular season. It's like a mental thing, right? Those wins at Wrigley a couple weeks ago, those are big ass wins. We lost to the Phillies, but we won one game of 3. But you want to beat those teams. But here's the catch. As funny as it is, every single game means the same. So you got to beat the bad teams. You split wins with the great teams. You beat all the bad teams. That should be the goal. All right, Wrigley Field, though, absolutely rocking, man. Wrigley Field, yesterday, it felt like a Saturday. It was a Tuesday night. I bought tickets for me and my friend, and so we were going. And then this dog park crew I go to around here, I was hanging with them. I was like, you guys should come with. And they're like, oh, yeah, we should go. And I thought they were joking. They're like, oh, we're going to go. I was like, sweet. Well, we'll be at Murphy's Bleachers. We're going to leave, take the train around 6:15. We're going to pop over there. Game's at 6:40. Probably drink a beer, 2 beers, walk in, second inning, bottom of the second inning. Not a big deal. Let's just enjoy the vibe of Wrigley Field, Murphy's Bleachers, save $7 a beer. And then, so this whole crew, they text me like, hey, we're taking the train. We'll see you over at Murphy's. I'm like, all right, this is awesome. They get over there. Everyone's sitting down drinking a beer. And I'm like, hey, guys, like, I want to go in. Like, you guys ready to go in? They're like, yeah. And somebody looks at their ticket, and they see they bought a ticket for Wednesday. It's Tuesday night. Because the tickets, I bought those tickets for like $35. Those tickets Tuesday, because it became 70 degrees and sunny out of nowhere in Chicago. Those tickets went up to close to $100 for the bleachers. So I remember them telling me like, oh, we got our tickets for like, it was like, $40, $32. I was like, oh, geez, that's like what I paid. That's incredible, because earlier today they were like 70 to 90. And yeah, so that was quite the funny scenario, because they essentially had to decide, do you want to buy a new ticket or are you going to leave? And then funny enough was one of the people that bought a ticket, literally went to the game today because he had the ticket. Those tickets were like, like Wednesday at 120. Like, who can go to a game at Wednesday at 120? I mean, you're either like a special occupation where you probably work the weekends, or you work the nights, you're retired, or you just literally take the day off. Right? So it's just not a lot of people going. And so those tickets are absolutely dirt cheap, like $12 for bleachers. But he ended up going to back-to-back games. So, yeah, shout out my friend Tommy. But yeah, that was so funny. But just like a little pro tip about Wrigley, though, real quick. One of the things to do if you want to save money and you still want the bleacher feel, that's standing room only. You can kind of connect with people. You can browse. You can kind of, shoot the shit with different strangers, and you're not like tied to a physical seat, You can buy any seat in Wrigley, and then you can go above section 203. There's the standing room only section. Is the view good? View's not great, but it's pretty decent. You got a little bit of like the, upper deck kind of in the way, but you can see the plate and all that. If the ball flies up in a pop-up in the infield, you won't see it. But other than that, the ball goes out, goes yard, you'll see it. So that's a great spot. So you can buy a cheap ticket, and then you can just say, hey, everyone meet up, above section 203, standing room only. And there's a bar up there too. Straight up, there's a bar up there. You can get a beer up there. The bathroom is just literally right down the stairs. You go down like, a couple flights or whatever stairs. And then you're right next to the bathroom, right on the corner. So that'd be the northwest corner. Not a bad way to do it. They do sometimes sell standing room tickets only, which is like where that spot is. But I'm pretty sure they only do it for like certain games, or if the game's like already sold out. But you can buy like some cheap, section 411 ticket, and then from there you can go. Because here's the thing that's amazing about the bleachers, is the bleachers, you don't really have to prepare to go with people. Meaning you can just be like going with like a group of people, yourself, one other person, And like I just described, I saw people and said, hey, we're going to the game. Buy a bleacher ticket if you want to join us. And everyone can join you. You know, if you have a seat, then you're like limited to your ability to open invites to other people. And in my opinion, living in the city, the big key is connecting with people and just always having invites open. You essentially make Wrigley Field a bar that anyone can walk in by either going to the bleachers or doing the cheaper version, which is, you know, buying any cheap ass seat in Wrigley that you can, cheapest seat you can, and everyone just meeting up at the, you know, above 203 standing room only section. So, yeah, a little pro tip there. All right, guys, got to wrap it up. We're almost at 30 minutes. Beers by the Ivy. We're out once again. Thanks to sponsor Sports World Chicago. Get your sports. Get your all Chicago merch. Specifically, definitely Cubs, though. They got tons of it and some really awesome stuff. Once again, that's where I buy all my stuff. My hats, Beers by the Ivy hats, are going in Sports World Chicago. Promo code Beers by the Ivy. All one word. Beers by the Ivy. 10% off. Sports World Chicago. Let's go. We out. We out. We done. We out. All right, guys. Thanks again. Talk soon. Peace.